Hello, my name is Lavon Shingler, and I want to tell you a story. And this is called This Is Us, Our Life, Our Story. My husband and I were married at 19. Here we are, starting our life together. This is our marriage announcement. And we were married my second year in college, his first opportunity to go to the Air Force. And so we were married, and then I went back to school and he went on to basic training. He called me and told me our first assignment was going to be Fayetteville, North Carolina. Needless to say, I was very shocked and a little bit concerned because, as you can see here, we are a biracial couple. And so when he called me and told me this, I'm speaking to him from my dorm room, and I'm like, oh my goodness, honey, we are going to get lynched. But thank God that was not the case. When we arrived in Fayetteville, it was totally different than what I expected. It was a huge cosmopolitan of a military community that we enjoyed for the most part. He was at Pope Air Force Base, and that's where they provided the air transport for the 82nd Airborne. While he did his military active duty service, I went on to finish my undergraduate degree from Fayetteville State University and then was commissioned as an officer in the Air Force. During that time, our lives transitioned. He got out while I went in. And we had this game plan of he was going to go to school full time and finish his undergrad degree while I served in the military. And for the most part, that worked, except for we got pregnant and our son, Michael, was born. But by this time, we'd been married 7 years, and Michael was born a preemie at 1 pound, 13 ounces. We were in Sumter, South Carolina at this point, and then the Air Force decided to move us to Omaha, Nebraska. Our miracle Michael, that's what we used to call him, was such a tremendous blessing. And then to be able to be stationed in the Midwest was wonderful because we were both from Minnesota. So our families were able to visit us often, to get to know their new grandchild, and we were able to have that support from home. From there, we moved to San Antonio, Texas, and that's where Mariah Shingler joined our family. And then at that point, our family was complete. Mariah joined our family through the miracle of adoption, which is fantastic, and we have a wonderful story to tell about her arrival in our family as well. One last thing that happened is that we adopted a little puppy, and so now the Shingler family is complete. From there, we moved to Germany. We spent 3 years in Germany. We spent 3 years in Turkey, then back here to DC, where I was at the Pentagon, and then ultimately I retired. Now our children have went through elementary school, high school. Now they're in college, out of college, and they're doing wonderful things with their lives. It's very interesting because what happens is that they were babies at one point, and then the next minute they're individuals and they have their own passions and they have their own desires. I remember one of my daughter was talking to a friend, and she said something about us being homeless. And I remember I used to tell the kids, when we were PCSing, permanent change of station, from one duty assignment to the next, that it doesn't matter the things we have, the physical things we have, as long as we're together, we're at home. And sometimes we only the things that we have in our car is what we have. So we're homeless in that sense. So I heard my daughter talking to her friend saying that we were homeless, and I was like, oh my goodness, what is she saying? But what she was telling them is that my mom feels as though it's nothing that we have in our hands, it's only the things that the precious gift of family individuals that are the most important, and which makes us a family. And it's been very exciting to see my kids grow up to be these young adults who are doing and pursuing the things that I believe the Lord is calling them to do.
And where I find you.